Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscripted Coding. Normally we start from scratch and build something entirely on screen with all of the mistakes, none of the planning that you might expect from a very polished tutorial video. Today we're doing things a little differently for two reasons. I'll get into that later, but we're starting with an existing project. Those of you who have been with us since the start of the channel will recognize the Excel converter we built not too long ago. So you can always go and scroll back and check out that video, but all it is a simple web page. You drag an Excel file right onto this box, and it does some conversion. For us, we're pretending we're doing a tournament. We have an Excel file with name, username, and a code of some sort. So this will just spit it out, and there's a ton of these boring administrative work, and it makes it easy for you to copy and paste, put it into, say, Notepad or Word or email out things. It's short and simple. But of course, this is not very customizable. So what I want to do for this one is just make it a little more open. Make it easier to change the text, make it easier to modify for different scenarios. I'll see how far we can take it, but really the reason I'm doing such a small project this time is that I do have a few constraints this week. That's reason number one. We're doing things a little bit different this week. Reason number two, if you guys have a very, very keen eye, you'll see the console here. It was very unfortunate, but I was recording my first intro video without audio. So you wouldn't be able to hear my voice. So I'm just going back and recording this. I've already done some coding, so I kind of know the end result. I'm cheating a little bit, but we're going back to start. This is how it looked like before. And then we're going to make those changes. So I'm going to just start rolling footage from a few days later. All right, everyone. That was a pretty short coding session, actually. Coding sessions, but we have our desired output. I have put in some new instructions. It is still ridiculously bland as far as design goes, but you can see that we can customize the text however we want. This is the default text, but let's use what I just typed here. Thanks for registering for Anson's YouTube channel secret tournament. There's no such thing, guys. Your username is username, your code is code. Let me just pull up the Excel file so you guys can remember. You have ranking, name, username, and code. Basically, you need to match it up with double curly braces. And this is just part of the code. You can use whatever you want. If you want double square brackets, if you have some sort of secret numbering system on either side, it just makes it easy to detect and who uses curly braces in an actual document. Anyways, you customize a text, you drag your Excel file over, and boom, you have your results. You can copy and paste it wherever you want. And if you know exactly what it is you want to do, it's very easy to use JavaScript to say spit out Word documents, text files. I don't know, you can even manipulate images, put this as a watermark or something like that. But the important thing is we've read the Excel file, we're using this custom text, and we're bringing it over. Now, if we just reset this, and I just want to show you guys what happens if, I made a typo, user aim, no N. The problem is it's not going to find it. So you need to be sure that you are typing it correctly. If I had a bit more time, I'd probably find ways to make so that you can drag your Excel file in once. It'll tell you what the headers are and how it should look like, and then you might be able to drag it into your text. Not really sure how I do that, but that's probably best for user experience. Expecting people to do double curly braces is not great, but I think it's fine for my own use case. The code, you can always go back to our previous video to take a look at it from scratch and how we built that up. But at a high level overview, we're using Sheet.js, and that's over here. We put it in through a script tag. We're using jQuery Bootstrap to just get us started. And these are just basic design choices. You can move them however you want, but we have, of course, our title, we have our instructions. This is a text area where we're putting the customized text. And it's frustrating. I actually didn't know this, but if you want to put things into the text area and you say, do this and make the code nice and pretty formatted, it also gets all the tabs. So I didn't know that was the case before. So that irks me a little bit, but it is what it is. That's our template code. Now, we go in, we have this drop zone, nothing really fancy. It's all down in the code. We have this on drop, and we have the drop handler. So I'm not going to go through this again, but we used Sheets.js to handle all of that so that it reads through and it goes through each of the keys. Oh, that is terrible. We don't want that. We can delete this, and I think it will still work as intended. So let's double check that, make sure I didn't break anything. Perfect. That part was just things I should have deleted. But now, this is where most of our new text comes in. Let's delete this as well. First of all, we use JavaScript to get the value of the text area. That is here. We're getting the text. And then what we're doing is for each header value in the JSON key. So each key is a row on the Excel sheet. I shouldn't just here, but key 1, key 2, key 3. Oh, I'm sorry. This should be key 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. But we need to select that first key first. We get the header, and then now we change the HTML of a brand new card that we're going to append over here. And what we're doing is taking that text and appending it. I skipped this line. Okay, so what we're doing is we have the text from the text area, and for each header value, we're replacing it with the value. So we have to figure out what the header is, and that's a key name. Luckily for each row, we start getting a key. So ranking is a key, name is a key, username, code. And then when, let's say we go JSON index 1 will give you this row. That's the first bracket, and then the next key is the header. So we have this row, and then we say name will give you Andy. So we're looking for 2 curly braces on each side, and then the center value, which is the header, which is the key. That's the name, username, code. And then we're replacing it with the value that it finds. That is this value or this value or this value. And then we just loop through it. And then we put this into a card. Now you'll find this NL2BR function. I just stole this straight from Stack Overflow. It's really nothing too special. Basically, you're replacing all of the new lines with BR tags. So the text in here, in this text area, is formatted not in HTML. And so when you have a new line, it looks like this, /n. They allow you to do this, but if you're looking at the code as /n or a variety of other things to denote that there is a new line here. In HTML, we don't want it to look like this, so we are just replacing it with BR tags. BR, that is the new line for HTML. So this is nothing too fancy. I really think you can probably write that yourself very quickly, but it was there, why not? And there you have it. Because we have custom text, this will be much more useful if you want to take this file off my GitHub and use it in your own workplaces, because this is not so relevant to you anymore. You can change it. And if you're not really that technical, but you still don't want it super tournament-y, you can change this default text in lines 46 to 53. There is absolutely nothing here that is code. It's very, very straightforward. In terms of design, the other thing that I wanted to do but I didn't quite have the time, or I guess the inclination to do because it's not so relevant in my use case, is to allow bolding, italicizing, underlining. That would be quite problematic. You need some sort of editor, and chances are you're not going to build it from scratch. You're going to use some sort of editor. And I was looking at Quill before because I have used it in the past. the really big question is, do you want a WYSIWYG, I know I'm butchering this, but WYSIWYG editor, or do you want something like a Markdown editor? And this gives you much greater options to change how these things look and to embed images, videos, whatever you need into this document, but it gets infinitely more complex, whereas a Markdown editor really gives you a handful of options. I'm surprised this one gives you the option for images, but really it's like the various headers, bolding, italicizing. And so you keep that narrow, you have less weird cases. And just to give you an example of one really difficult scenario that I dealt with long ago is just people who indent over and over and over. A lot of these editors pre-program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 indents. And you think, oh, I'm writing a novel. When am I ever going to indent more than that? But if you start looking at legal documents, you have section 13, and then you indent section 13.1, and then you indent 13.1a, and then you just have so many indents, and none of these, well, I wouldn't say none, but a lot of these don't think beyond 3 or 4 or 5. And so that's just one weird scenario that you prefer to keep it super simple. There's no bolding, there's no italicizing, there's no underlining, there's nothing that can go wrong. It is purely text, and so this is nice and clean. Yeah, anyways, enough of me ranting about what other areas you can expand this on, because I think the utility is very straightforward. You can obviously do so much to improve this, and I'd love to see it. If you guys improve it, just drop a comment under this video, and if you enjoyed the rest of this video, please do like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever, to let me know that you enjoyed this content. So thanks for watching, guys.